I felt more confident in what the next year was going to bring at the end of the last 2 years, in spite of the massive disappointment last year, coming off the 15-2 season and losing in the first round of the playoffs at home to Washington and with just a disaster out of character game. The fact of the matter is, I still like a lot of what they have in place, but there's a lot to address. Like, as much as they have some incredible players locked up for a long time, and others that are, just feels like getting started in their careers that aren't locked up for a long time, and they have to address those. The to-do list isn't short this offseason. And the questions become, what positions do you address in the draft, and what positions do you address with free agents? What positions do you think you can address by trading for? But, ultimately, it's there's a lot riding in this offseason, to say the least. 248-539-9797. Let's go to Mike on a cell. Hi, Mike.
Hello, how are you boys?
All right, Mike.
Good. First thing I want to start off is, do you think we should go for Max Crosby in the offseason from Raiders?
No, I don't think they can afford him.
Okay. Second thing, do we keep Calvin Shepard as a defensive coordinator for next year?
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think Shep is going to be the defensive coordinator, but should they? I think you could always look to improve your coaching staff if you find somebody that makes sense. But it sounds like everything that Dan Campbell had to say after the game that Shep's not going anywhere, but we'll see.
Keep in mind, Crosby in year one of a 3-year extension, he'd be a huge dead cap number. And would you fire Shepard?
I just don't like the defensive scheme we've had the past 3 years, to be honest. I mean, I feel like if we get, a clean house, a new coordinator, I think that our defense would change drastically, and I don't like having a bottom 10 defense every year.
No, nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. Yeah. I mean, he's only been in charge this 1 year, but, they should take a look at everything. I'm not against taking a look at everything, but it feels to me like he's down the list of concerns.
And in the first round of your draft, are you taking a tackle or a defense?
Don't know yet, but we'll get to that coming up in a minute. I'll go with, I'm almost like Brad Holmes in terms of best player available. And I also start thinking about, what should my strategy be as it pertains to free agents? Because free agents are specific for need. Draft is usually for talent.
There's a lot's going to go on with this mock draft. A lot of talking things out and the thought process of why I'm going to go with where I'm going to go.
Okay. Well, we always like to find mock drafts that come from credible sources, not just, mock draft by Sergio.
Mock draft by Sergio.
Yeah, we try to find mock drafts by reporters whose names you've heard of and work in the league. And Gator, for the first time, we will do so for this offseason right now.
Oh, boy.
We'll tell you who did this mock draft a little bit later.
Okay. First one, man.
How's it feel?
Strange. It kind of springs on me here like, this is real. We're doing this right now. Mm-hmm. This is something that I've been waiting for a long time, and now the moment is upon us, and the excitement is building.
With the first pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select Dante Moore, quarterback, Oregon.
It's a mistake.
Wow.
Got the quarterback whisperer next to you, Doug?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You had a chance between Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza. I like Dante Moore, but I love Fernando Mendoza.
I don't love either of them. But if you need a quarterback, you're kind of locked in. I would try and trade out of the position.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in need of a quarterback this year. I actively did not like Mendoza. I have concerns, fewer than I did. But anyway, Dante Moore goes to Vegas. At 2, Arvell Reese, linebacker, Ohio State, or edge rusher, outside linebacker, Ohio State, goes to the Jets. At 3, the Arizona Cardinals take Fernando Mendoza. At 4, Tennessee, they jump on edge rusher Keldrick Falk from Auburn. Now, we're not going to give you every pick up to the Lions. We'll give you the ones that might pertain to the Lions.
Okay.
At 6, Cleveland takes the first offensive tackle off the board in Spencer Fanu from Utah. At 7, the Commanders go edge rusher David Bailey, Texas Tech.
Damn.
I know. At 8, Caleb Downs, safety Ohio State, goes to New Orleans.
Damn.
At 10, defensive tackle Peter Woods from Clemson goes to the Bengals. At 12, Reuben Bain Jr., edge rusher Miami, goes to Dallas. At 13, the Rams select Jermod McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee. At 14, the first interior offensive lineman goes at Olavenga Awante from Penn State. Which brings us to the Lions pick at 17. Now, what we like to do, for those who are new, we'll tell you who is on the board at key positions. So if the draft plays itself out, anything like this, we ask you, what would you do? Okay, so who are the players that have been taken so far that broke your heart?
I mean, look, I didn't expect these guys to be there, but my number one player on my draft board, Doug, is Caleb Downs, the safety from Ohio State.
Yep.
I think he's might be the best player in the draft. Arvell Reese is really good from Ohio State as well. And Reuben Bain and David Bailey, those are the guys that I really kind of focus on. I'd love to have any of those guys, and I wouldn't expect any of them to be there.
The writer who did this said regarding Caleb Downs, arguably pound for pound the best football player in this draft class. Downs is literally a do-everything defensive back who should be able to change a culture immediately at a prospect like this, and the Saints could be a surprise club next season. Immediate impact kind of guy.
I think he's like a Derwin James type.
You know, the good news is he goes at 8 and not 15.
You're right. Yeah.
Because if he went at 15, then the cost, right? Yeah. The cost, I think you're right about Bain and Bailey, the edge rushers from Miami and Texas Tech. But here is who's on the board. So if you are the GM, think about which of these guys you would take. Cornerback, Mansour Delane, LSU, still on the board. Tackle, Caden Proctor, Alabama, still on the board. Edge rusher, TJ Parker, Clemson, still on the board. Interior offensive lineman, Emmanuel Pregnon, Oregon, still on the board. Defensive tackle, Amari Washington, Oregon, still on the board. And safety, Dylan Thieneman, Oregon, transfer from Purdue, people might remember him, still on the board. So here's how this works. One of those 6 names actually is the pick. So the question at 248-539-9797 is, which of those 6 would you take? Text us right now at 248-539-9797. We'll tally up the votes and see who the people want the most.
Say those names again.
Cornerback Mansour Delane from LSU. Tackle Caden Proctor from Alabama. Edge rusher TJ Parker from Clemson. Interior offensive lineman Emmanuel Pregnon from Oregon. Defensive tackle Amari Washington from Oregon. Safety Dylan Thieneman from Oregon. A lot of Oregon Ducks there. 248-539-9797. Tell us which one of those players you would select at 17 when the pick comes in. And we will get to Gator's pick. Kang will take your pick as well at 12:31. We'll read a bunch of texts. We'll have my pick, I should say. All that coming up next as we look at the mock draft for the first time. If it goes down this way, what would you do? It is Karsch and Anderson here on 97.1.